What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Geez, I can English. Check them out. Check them out. There we go. Finally, I can get it out. But first, stay on this one. So let's get right into it. You guys read the title. Yeah, you read the title. You saw the thumbnail. Had to make sure I'm not backwards there. But you read the title. You saw the thumbnail. No more beating around the bush. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a very subjective topic here, which is what round count can you officially say a firearm is reliable? And some people might be wondering why this is even a topic I'm discussing. And well, the main reason why I say that is because there's a big argument online, of course, between pretty much everybody in the gun community about however many rounds they put through their guns and how reliable it is. And I'm here to really just kind of debunk this little myth that you need to put 100,000 million kajillion rounds through your gun before you can say it's a reliable gun. Now, for starters, of course, there are varying factors like, history of branding. Like, for example, if you get a Gen 3 Glock, historically speaking, you're probably going to get a reliable gun out of it. It's good to test it by all means, of course. Run the number of rounds that I'm going to run through it at bare minimum, but it's a good thing to test it still. Now, moving on from that, because that's, of course, a point that a lot of people are not realizing, is that you can, in a sense, judge a level of reliability based off the brand and model that you've gotten. Now, beyond that, though, because we're not really talking about, what make and model of gun you got, we're here talking about what round count that has been successfully ran through the firearm. Successfully. Now, some people might be wondering, what do you define as successfully going through the firearm? Can the gun have really zero malfunctions for you to call it reliable? I'm not even saying that, because in all reality, there is such a thing as bad ammo. There is such a thing as, user-induced malfunctions. Excuse me. There is such a thing as, poor quality control with some companies. So I'm not going to sit here and say that's the definitive, takeaway right there. I'm not going to say that's the definitive judgment, I guess you could argue. However, what I can say is that if you're having a malfunction every, even once every 50 to 100 rounds, that's probably not going to be the most reliable gun out of there. However, depends on what kind of malfunction it is as well. You see what I mean? So, for example, if it's a light strike, you have a couple of options on what it could be. It could just be the ammo that you're using. It could be the gun itself. If you have a failure to feed, it could be the gun itself. It could be perhaps you were limp wristing it. It could be because of the ammo. It could be a bunch of things. So this is why you need to run at least a good amount of rounds through your firearm before you can, determine whether or not it is reliable. Now, what number would I suggest is a fair number to say, yes, this gun is reliable? If you successfully put 500 rounds through a firearm, I mean successfully with little to no malfunctions. I mean literally maybe a couple malfunctions at most, like no more than 3. Now, some people might be wondering where I came up with this number, why I decided this number. And, y'all might be wondering, okay, did you, come to terms with this number being the bare minimum around the time you started doing 500 round reviews? Yes, that part is 100% correct. Yes. I would argue that 500 rounds, you get a good opportunity, no matter what caliber you're working with, to get a decent little variety of ammo, whether it's the same brand but different weights, whether it's different brands, different weights, whether it's different kinds of ammo, for example, either FMJ or jacketed hollow points, whatever. 500 rounds gives you room to, get a little bit of everything and see how it all functions. So let's say we're talking about 9mm, right? Because we just want to, keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid, right? But I would argue that, roughly speaking, let's say, once again, we're talking about 9mm here. I would get 100 rounds of 115 grain FMJ, I would get 150 rounds of 124 grain FMJ, and then maybe 150 rounds of 147 grain FMJ. I'd say that's 400 right there. Yeah, so with 400, you put the other 100 towards hollow points. The reason why I say that is because you want to make sure that your firearm is, you know, actually, I'll even be nice. You don't even have to say hollow points. You don't even have to. Get 50 rounds of your hollow points. Fine. But what about the other 50? Some people might be wondering. Get the most low recoil ammo, ammo that you can find out there. The lowest recoil ammo you can find for your gun, and see if it'll function. Just why not? Test it. We're really testing it. You know what I mean? Nah, though. In all reality, I would more so, what's probably going to be more reasonable for some people, and it's kind of ridiculous to say, but what's more reasonable for some people, instead of getting that super low recoil competition ammo, is probably just going to be getting 100 rounds of their hollow points and running it through their gun. Now, I know that's going to be a bit expensive. Some people are not going to like it. And hell, even I don't always put 100 rounds of my hollow point ammos through hollow point ammos. I am awful today, guys. I am awful with mixing up my words today. Even I sometimes don't put 100 rounds of hollow point ammo through my guns. That was so rude. That was so rude of her. Other people can't be out, outside of the house living their own lives. Y'all with dogs understand. As I was saying, though, sometimes I fall short of my own standard. However, I at least make sure to run self-defense ammo through the gun, make sure it runs reliably, and I do run more than just one mag through it. A lot of people don't like the fact that I sit there and encourage that, but you should run your self-defense ammo through the gun as part of this round count if you're going to do 500 rounds. You want to make sure that your gun is going to be able to feed the ammo that you possibly are going to use it for. You see what I mean? Or using it, better way of saying it. But overall, once again, the round count doesn't matter as much as the ammo type, the weights of the ammo, and the consistency of the firearm. If the gun consistently goes boom when that trigger is pulled, regardless of what ammo's in it, you got yourself a pretty reliable gun. What's going to give you some time to test it? 500 rounds. I think that's more than fair, though. You see what I mean? But I think that about wraps it up for this video, because I don't want to keep going in circles on this. Why would I say 500 rounds seems like the bare minimum fair number to argue that your gun is, at least decent for self-defense? You could argue that it's reliable, right? Why would I say that? Is because of the fact that, one, it, depending on what kind of gun it is, of course, you're worrying about ammo cost, but I also believe that 500 rounds gives you more than enough room to kind of just figure out what you want to do with it. See what kind of ammo you want to run through it, see if it's going to function with that kind of ammo. If not, figure something else out. But I think 500 rounds gives you a little bit of room there where you can figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? But that's why I chose 500 rounds. Now, whether or not you agree with me, all right, actually, I almost just skipped something entirely. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all, and whether or not you agree with me, there we are. See, that feels a lot better. That feels a lot better. Now, whether or not you agree with me about this number of round count I've chosen, I guess you could say, to argue for the bare minimum, argument for reliability. Whether or not you agree with me, go ahead and comment down below why or why not. And then make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.